Alright, on my collective, Starseeds, light workers, earth angels, 144K, welcome to my channel. So this is going to be the energies coming in for 12/6. All my readings are timeless, know that, but I always let you know about the energies that we are connecting with, because that is an influence of the energy. It doesn't really matter though. Maybe that's something I need to change up how I do that, because things don't need to be time stamped anymore, as we definitely quantum level leaped, y'all. This is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, like the energies, like, you know, the energy you were feeling that was coming and coming and coming. Well, after the resonance, the Schumann scale resonant literally showed a blackout. Okay, after that, all of a sudden I was just like, what? It was just like I knew that something changed and shifted, but I was like, why do I not see it? Because I think what we were anticipating for a lot of us, like the shift, okay, that we were talking about, the grand shift and all of that, like it was like you thought all of a sudden you would shift over and just see. I mean, I don't know, I just thought all of a sudden, I don't know, like it would just all of a sudden be just more peaceful, at least in my environment. Things would be more vibrant. I know I've been talking about that. Things would be being more vibrant and things like that. And I know that I was seeing a lot of, like, I feel as we were quantum leveling, that's why I was seeing a lot of, like, things looking blurry and a lot of the glimmers and the things like that I was seeing. But literally, like, you need to know, for a lot of you, it's your level of consciousness. Like, you need to change that level of consciousness to allowing things to change, to seeing things differently, because it's what you create at this time. It's what your mind wants to be able to see. For a lot of you, like, maybe you need to go through some sort of clearing out, some sort of detoxification. Okay, we were going through massive clearings and detoxifications, but for some of you, like, you're not done yet. Maybe for some of you, because it happens in phases, depending on how much toxicity you had around you, to family, maybe that you had surrounding you, to different things. And a lot of times around holiday season, I feel that this was like a big closing out. Don't mind my son walking around giant eye in the background, but for a lot of you, like, this clearing or whatever, like, you know how sometimes, like, for a lot of you, I just feel like Thanksgiving was literally, I believe that's when we had the shift, right? It was right around Thanksgiving, because that's when I was feeling literally Thanksgiving Day. Now I don't know. I just know that it happened in the past week, right? Or in the past 10 days of this shift. So, but it's about the conscious level. So for some of you, like, you're going through rapid level of ascensions, literally like third eye awakenings, right? So for some of you, like, you could start to notice that all of a sudden, like, yeah, all of a sudden now I'm starting to see images with my thoughts, and I'm starting to see reels, and I'm starting to see, and I'm starting to feel, and I'm starting to, you know, but it takes time, but it's all for when you're ready. So for some of you, like, certain things that need to get cleared out from your space and your energy, certain things, right? But it's all about mindset, right? And integrating this energy. So oh my gosh, I don't know why I feel like I'm having trouble getting this out. Something with meditation too. I mean, there's a lot more big changes that are coming, right? There very much is, but things need to be phased out. And for a lot of you, it's for you too. It's like you can't all of a sudden just completely shit, like, it's a process, right? Because for some of you, like, I don't know how to explain the shift except that I know that we were explaining it, and maybe this will make sense when I explain it this way. As I said, for some of you, like, when you do shift over, it's like you're going to shift over in this new reality, but it's like you're literally going to shift over, but it's going to look like everything in your old life, but it's going to feel different. And then you're going to start to see that you have more control to change things. I think is probably the part that was left out when I said all of a sudden it's like you could literally go to sleep and then wake up, and then all of a sudden you're in this new reality. Okay, so it might seem lighter around you, and that's what I mean. Like, all of a sudden I started to realize, like, it hit me actually when I was on the bus. I was on the city bus, right? And the other day, and just that I was noticing that the energy felt different, right? And then I was noticing just the kindness that I was seeing around everybody. And then there was a credit card that was on the floor, and I had watched like the people all notice that were surrounding the card. Like I don't even know how long it was there. Like the bus wasn't even stopped, so it probably had gotten dropped by the last stop that there was, and somebody had gotten off. But so it's like they didn't notice it, but then they all noticed at the same time, right? And it was like I watched this collaboration of these 3 people, like they had seen the card or whatever, but that, and because I feel the energy, right? Like when they picked it up, like all of them, you know, were looking at each other and starting to, you know, talk about the card, right? And they were starting to look around and to see if there was anybody on the bus that the card belonged to, right? Because I got the vibe right, it was a feminine card, and these were 3 masculines. It was all different, like races, ages, you know, and but watching them like look at the card and just I got them it right away, like it, you know, it was like the vibe that I felt was just like, oh no, you know, because it was like they all knew that the bus was going, like there was no way to give it to the, you know what I mean, to recover the person that it got it from, but then all of them just collaborated to all go bring it up front to the bus driver, right? And that was when it hit me, and I was just like, wow, like that's what triggered the kindness that I was seeing, because I mean, there's been instances where there's been very hectic and very high strung and very, like for the longest time, like I remember like I didn't ever want to use the buses and the bus system, and this lifestyle has really gotten me to see that, right? But how much that it's changed, right? And how beautiful that it is, and how just I don't know where I'm going with this, except that all of a sudden when I started to notice that, I remember I was just like, wow, that was so beautiful to see all of that, and you know, that nobody, you know, was trying to hide it or take it or steal it or whatever. And it was just like the love and that I felt. And then I started to notice, right, so I was looking at this cornucopia and blossoming abundance, and then it was like I just started to look around that day and all the kindness that I was seeing at the store. Remember the frustrations and everything that normally when I would be shopping and the anxiety that I would feel, I was just like, wow, here I am in the grocery store, but the energy feels different, you know? And or no, this was literally before Thanksgiving, because I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like Thanksgiving is almost here. I remember thinking that now, and like the hecticness that I was feeling, just all of a sudden, like it's different. It's not like that this year. And then I noticed on Thanksgiving where I was just like, wow, everybody's like, even everybody's posts and everybody's, you know, things that I'm seeing or whatever are different. Everybody's not posting the foods and all of that. They're actually posting what they're thankful for and the families, and I was just seeing so much more beautiful things. And then I just started to notice the awareness, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, we shifted, because I'm starting to see this, but it's taking time for it to integrate, because I'm so used to seeing things in a certain way that it took just that one trigger all of a sudden for it to like pop, like boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, wow, look at all of this. And then I was just starting to see more and more and more. And then, that's what I mean. Like, that's what it's going to be for you. And it's going in alignment, like what I'm saying, like for some of you, like you're battling, like some of these energies are keeping you. When they know that it's like your time, like to start creating, like as you do, it's just like, it's like everything got pulled through. I don't know if like, I think we just, y'all completely just pulled Earth into the 5D. That's literally, and then I was starting to look at the constellations last night and the moon, and I'm just like, everything is just like, closer, shifted, like things ain't looking the same anymore. And I was just like, well, that makes sense, because I know that we have shifted, like things like, and then now, like I said, with the proof in the Schumann scale resonance showing the blackout, y'all, we've never had a blackout before, so what do you think that means? Literally, like, so you either get it or you don't, okay? But this is it's all about how you start to see things, how you start to integrate things. Like, you're free. 144,000, we did that. We held the frequency and we shifted. So this anticipation, like, you need to know now, just start to create. Just start to let go more, however it is that you need to let the defensiveness down and things integrate out. Like, you'll notice when you cannot physically be around certain things, because everybody's got that chance now. I just got phases. So I don't know if this was the first phase. I don't know if we have more like jumping or levels or with the vibration. Like, I don't really know like what like the resonance is at for the, but it's, I know it's something in phases, okay? Right? For some of you, maybe that's how just we're integrating it collectively. That it's, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, I don't know. I really think a lot of us, like, our projections of what 5D was going to be is different than what it is. But it, like, because I think a lot of us, like, I don't know. I was also getting this thing, like, the universe requires perfection. And things are still being rewritten, okay? Like, there's certain things that are not okay, because it's kind of like so many... like more things have control are coming through. There's more protection and there's more things that can be shifted. Like, literally, how do you, like, everybody that was meant from the end of times is here in the beginning of times is here in the end of times. But for a lot of you, like, you might not even be aware that how significant you are to being here. And I think a lot of the collective just don't even know, like, the role and the position and the energy that you carry. Like, for some of you, literally, like, it's the energy that you carry where you go and flow. You are changing the course of reality for that area, for those people, for, like, so it's like, as you're going around, you're turning it in as if you had a magic wand key. You're turning it into 5D energy. So literally, like, but now, even though you were there and you brought the energy there, you activated that energy, and now all of the people that are there, now they can start to integrate, like domino effect. But they're gonna have clearing, they're gonna have things. That's why there's this energy and this push of, like, no longer, like, seeing others as the enemy, right? The entity, right? Dark energy, demons are literally dark energy made manifest. Just like diseases, there's been a big push on diseases. Like, that shouldn't even be getting put out there, to try to put the words out there of, like, STDs and all of that. Like, that needs to stop, because that's not here in the 5D. STDs and, like, those are that's dark energy manifested in the physical. So if you're not engaging in those lower vibrational lustful energies, okay, then you're not going to be manifesting those things. So those are not things that need to be talked about, because that can trigger it back to the old ways and the fear and the do you see what I mean? Like, the ways of teaching, the ways of the messages are changing, because the energy is now different. It needs to be more of a healing. That's why I want to see more of the collective, the spiritual community. Like, we've had a lot infiltrated, a lot of dark workers and things like that, and fake high priestesses, and a lot, like, it's just, you need to look at it as, it's not even like they're evil at this point, because for a lot, they're not even aware of what they're doing, because they're so used to being defensive and hurt people. So a lot of people go around trying to help, and if they're still wounded, they're not helping, but they don't realize it. But there's this energy now of this awareness, right, and of healing. And if it's all healing and integrating, you don't have to be as defensive anymore. You see what I mean? Like, things are not, to be aware of it, yeah, it's nice that to get brought aware of it, but it's you don't have to defend yourself in the ways that you did before. You have that. So the 144 are showing the way. That's why the 144,000, the elite star seeds, the ones that I read for, connect with, teach, activate, assign positions, things like that for, need to know that. So you might feel guided to take a look at my last 2 readings, right? Because I feel that this energy is all going together. Okay? And it's going to find whoever it's meant to find. And sometimes, like I said, you might have been aligned with this reading just for something to be activated, and it may take time to integrate into your consciousness. So give it time. Definitely spend some time in isolation. I didn't mean to say isolation. So maybe for some of you, you do. Yeah. For some of you, you do. You need to meditate, like, not around your phone. You need to go outside and get away from all of the interference with the electronics and things like that. Okay. All right. Wow. This took into more channeling. I was going to get into some energy cards. All right. So let's get into some cards because that's what I wanted to do. Okay. All right, Divine. I feel they got their message out, right? So first one was supposed to be channeling. Second one's supposed to be cards. So definitely take a look at my channeled messages for 6-6. I just said 6-6. Whoa. Well, look at that. 12-6. And 12 breaks down into 6-6. And 6s are all about alignments. And it's interesting. I was looking at, like, they're showing me monster and how it has the same symbolism as with the letters in the alphabet of, like, the 666. There's something with 6s. Maybe for some of you, you need to stop drinking chemicals. Because that's what I get when I think of all of that stuff, the monster drinks and all of that. Yeah, for some of you, that's what's blocking your third eye. Or for some of you, yeah, that's what's feeding it, what you're consuming. Because there's some of you, like, they were showing me something with, like, the parasites and stuff that are within our food. Like, literally, like, there's a parasite that literally runs off of sugar that gets within the body. So whenever you infuse with sugar, which they put sugar, I'm going to stop saying they put sugar in everything, so I'm not protecting them. There is so much processed food that has sugar in it. Oh, what was that? People were even finding that they put sugar in, like, chicken nuggets. They were showing, like, literally. So even food that you think that doesn't have sugar in it but does have sugar, but then you eat sugar and it feeds that parasite in the body that could be blocking things. I'm getting for some of you too, where you've been feeling the waves of energy, and that's why you could feel as though you're not in this 5D energy, because you're like, I feel so great one moment and I feel like it's heaven on earth, but then the next day I'm just like, yeah, snap, I see an energy stuff. You don't realize for some of you, like, it's your consciousness level, it's what you're seeing, but you're going through a Kundalini rising. And a lot of people have the Kundalini rising wrong, is that they think that, yep, it's the surge of energy that goes up through your spinal column. Well, it does, but the way that it does is it's encoiled, right? So as the Kundalini rises, it's those levels of, like, whoa, whoa, you know what I mean? Like a roller coaster, like ups and downs. And I was perceiving it as, for some of you, it's like there are certain things that, like, you're going to be clearing out past life traumas and triggers and things like that, because for a lot of you, like, as you go through this Kundalini rising and this integration, you're recalling, you're collapsing the timelines, you're bringing through everything of past lives, of incarnations and cycles and different things that you have. So for some of you, it's like a trigger that you have in this lifetime is literally normally something from a past lifetime. Whatever fears and phobias and things like that you have are from a past life. Like, here's a for instance, like, I have a fear of knives, y'all. I don't anymore, but I just don't like them. And I know it's because I was killed in a past life by knives, right? So, like, I don't like to have knife sets and things like that. Like, it's always been, like, knives. Like, I don't like them or whatever. So it's like, even when I was a little girl, like, I'd always go hide the knives and things like that. Like, it's just, you know, so I didn't find out till I was older, whatever, that was, you know, how I was killed in a previous life. So that led me to a fear of, you know, knives, right, and stuff and things like that. But you know what I mean? Like, normally a thing that's like a fear is because of a death in a past life, right? So it's something that you have to overcome, right? You have to let that go. So for some of you, that's why too, because we're reaching certain triggers and certain things that are embedded within your DNA, with the, you know what I mean? And it's just like an obstacle in a hurdle, whatever. So for some of you, like, you may have to face that or whatever. That's what I mean. For a lot of you, I feel like you've been passing a lot of these things, and for a lot of you, like, it's because it needs to be so intense this time, because this is the final time to like get this stuff right. Okay, so there's no more that worry of like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna make it, because literally, like, don't worry. And even if you're not one of the 144,000, you didn't awaken and answer the call, right? And you weren't one of the leaders, that's fine. Not everybody needs to be a leader. And a lot of the leaders that were selected actually were the ones that were getting pushed into power. That's why for some of you, literally, like, maybe you weren't meant to be one of the leaders, but you are now, because you healed. And there's some that just didn't heal in time, but that's what I mean. So many more can get. It's like once you reach this 145,000 frequency, you're still on this frequency level. Like, you're here for this time to create. Okay, so, but yes, it's a frequency, it's a vibe, but there are certain ones, right, that have these specific roles, things, right? And those are the ones that are like for instance, those are the ones that need to be in positions where they're getting seen in the spotlight. There are some of you that maybe like you wanted that. You were like, yeah, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna lead, I'm gonna do this, right? But then maybe once you got down here and all of that, you couldn't pass all of the criticism and all of the, you know what I mean, that kept lowering and diminishing your light. So that was stopping you from shining, right? Or maybe it was just you were torn apart so much, right, that when you were a child, right, that you couldn't get enough confidence in yourself, that so that affected, right? It doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to serve your mission. It's just your mission got shifted. You got a new position, so maybe now you get to do something differently, right? But maybe it's going to be, you know what I mean, not what, and especially with like, you know, and for some of you, like, you knew it too, or maybe you missed your mark, things like that. Or maybe for some of you, like, a plan changed, right? Like, for instance, like, I knew that, like, my children, like, I wanted a family of star children, and I wanted to launch my star children into the industry, and I wanted to get them into, you know, I wanted to get them into music, and I wanted to create a band with them, and I wanted to do charity concerts, and I wanted to do all this stuff with them. And I remember when I was trying to get them together, and they were so cute. My children, how old are you when we started this? You're like 6? 7. It's like 7. So, and my boys are a year apart, so my boys are like 7 and 8, and I think my daughter was 10, but she's like my one that is like Virgo, like all throughout her chart. Like, she has so much structure and so much, but she had such woundings from her father and abandonment that if you have like abandonment wounds or confident wounds where you don't feel that you're enough, you kind of get overly where you need to be in control and bossy, right? And even though, like, she loves herself now, which is so beautiful, that it's taken a while to get there, she's got to let go of more of the controlling of others and things like that, as to feel, you know what I mean? So a lot of times, like, woundings and things like that can affect us. So what I'm getting at is that, like, yes, like, it wasn't working out, the plan, the mission that I had set up for them at that time, because our family was constantly getting attacked, right? And I know, like, when I said that, like, I had no idea what raising 4 star children on my own in today's society, like, what that was going to be like. Like, obviously, that's why I've went in and out with my children in the school system, because they're different, and they're all highly empathic, and they don't know how to release their, you know, and things like that. And there's all these different things, right? So it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, right? So I've had to change courses, you know. And then it was like they all wanted to, but then it started a lot of rivalry, right? Like, I remember them fighting over who could be up front in the camera, over who was going to take what and all of that. It was just so much was going on. And then the outsiders and the infiltrators and then things like that. Like, of course, like, I made the mistake of starting to put things on social media and stuff like that, so then they were getting attacked. And you know what I mean, the outside, like it was too much for me. So you see what I mean, how plans change and things like that. So then I was trying to break it apart. I'm like, all right, well then rate new assignments, things like that. Like, yeah, they couldn't come together, but maybe now I can get each of them to go down their passions, their dreams, their pursuits in different ways or whatever, where it's like, that's what I mean. For sometimes, like, you might not have been ready for a certain thing. Like, I was trying to get them in the spotlight when they were younger and all of that, right? But see, it was more protection that it didn't. 24:44 on the clock as I say that, baby. See that? 24:44, 444. I didn't know at the time. To me, it was like, oh my gosh, you're tearing apart my dream that I wanted, you know what I mean? That's what I felt like I was going to use to unite the starseeds and the children. Like, I was going to try to do like the subliminal messaging and put all of this stuff out into their songs. And we were even starting to songwrite and all of that with my daughter. And we were starting to put the things that I wanted to teach and the teachings that I was doing. And because this was, I mean, my daughter, this is back when she was 10, she's 18 now. So this was 8 years ago. Right? So 8 years ago, like, I knew like Black Eyed Peas, things like that. Like, they were putting the light working and stuff, like in the mess. And I remember getting so excited when I was finding the stuff, right? Okay. And, I don't know why I kept seeing their pictures, because they were one that we loved all of their songs and stuff, right? There's so much beautiful stuff. And, what's the one I'm hearing about right now? I don't know the name. I don't know why they're blacking out the name of the song right now, but anyways, like, so that's what we were gonna try to do, right? But then look at all of the corruption and everything. Like, I remember all of a sudden, then I was starting to get vibes and stuff, and I remember like I was getting calls for the auditions or whatever that were showing up out in Tampa and all of that. And I remember like I had gotten my kids like signed up and stuff, and I remember I was like, maybe if I can't do this, maybe I can launch them. Like, I think it was Disney or something. It was where they were coming for those things. But look at what's happened with all of the corruption and everything, and what they have done, and using the media, and using, and I'm trying to figure out how to put this out censored, but all of the corruption and everything, where the children were harvested and used, and all sorts of stuff or whatever. So it was like, no, they were protected from that. But see, it was like I wasn't purview of that. It's like, maybe at that time, it's like I had the feeling like, no. I remember thinking like exposure, and I remember thinking a little bit about trafficking and stuff like that, you know, because there's some of those things that have happened too, where they've used some of those false things for other purposes or whatever. I'm trying to be careful so I don't get flagged. Okay, so but I was like, it was just like, I knew that it was some form of protection. I kind of felt like we're not protected enough, like, if this isn't going to go about. What I'm getting at is like, so for some of you, even some of these woundings were set 27 o'clock, is these setbacks were protection, because it's like, some of us, we had these divine missions, and then they were corrupt, they were stopped, they were blocked, right, for other purposes, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe the plan would have, what if we would have got it then we could have, but then maybe we wouldn't have be here today if we would have been, because I know my daughter, she would not have been able to been quiet. If anybody would have came at her in the wrong way, she would have told, you know what I mean? And the only way that they were able to get away with all of that stuff is through the fear, right? And so many of the corruption went on because of the fear, right? And so the ones that were, you know what I mean? We know that the ones that have been trying to come out with it, that they were silenced, you know, we'll just say that didn't make it to get it out, right? So that's why things have been having to get out in phases and things like that. So for some of you, like, you're realizing that, like, your destiny timelines, or your fated timelines or whatever, like, your dreams, your desires, like, they can very much be manifested now. This is a time of instant manifestation. When you're ready, when you raise your vibration and you elevate, like, you get to create these things. You're not going to run into all the blockages and all of the things. So new positions and new things are coming online. That's what I mean. It's just like, it's a shift. It's a change. It's like, once you fully let go of fear, it's a whole new world, new earth. There's no fear. There's no it's a mindset, it's a level, and as you reach those level, those opportunities, then you start to align, and that's what I mean in this shift. But I don't think people were aware of like how much that can impact others and things like that. I don't know, I feel like I'm getting off track. Let me give, all right, is he back? Okay, all right, well anyways, I'm at 30 minutes with this one. I guess this just took into more channeled messages. This is the second time I've seen angels of balance in the pyramids. There could be something significant with the pyramids. Maybe for some of you, some sort of activation happens, right? Or something with the pyramids is insignificant, but you're coming into balance with something. Like I said, for some of you, these are activator cards too, right? So maybe you're going to go through some sort of activation. Okay, that's going to just get you to see things differently, and that's going to open your third eye. And like I said, for some of you, wait, let me go back to what I said. I got distracted about the sugar. So for some of you, like just going through a detox, a clearing out of like chemicals, junk, and getting rid of these certain things within could, that could be what's affecting you as well. So there's so many different messages. All right, I better close this out. I'm sending love and light to all of you. Bye, guys.